All right, so guess we can get started. We don't have a ton of stuff on the agenda today, but what we do have is a new EIP that's being proposed by the chain-specific addresses working group. The link is in Discord here. I'll pull it up and we can quickly go through this. There we go. Hopefully you can see that and it's not just black.
I can see it.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so this is a very, very new proposal, and I just wanted to raise it here because chain-specific addresses are going to be a very important feature for wallets to implement. So I want to make sure that people see this and are aware of it and can leave their comments on it. So the idea behind this ERC is that you can register using you create a chain ID using instead of just using like a regular integer that somebody picks like a human, you use a Ketchak hash of some very specific variables here, like the chain name. Oh, thank you. Nope, that's a different one. Okay. So chain name, chain ID, some kind of version, and a bridge address. And the idea is that eventually this chain ID registry will feed into the chain-specific address EIP that'll be coming down the road. I'm not an expert on this, but please read it, leave your comments, and yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, I think this is a very important directions, and there's a previous a lot of discussion. So one thing I want to throw into the conversation is the 2294, basically explicitly bound the existing chain ID size. Right now, there's no explicit saying. Some people argue that it should be bound. Some said no. My proposal is inspired by what's and inherited by what was proposed by Alex and Brian. Basically, we can say within certain amount, it's traditional chain ID, leaving space for future chain ID like those being hashed, right? So one other compatibility problem that any new schema of chain ID should consider is that if you're using 256 you in 256 or a byte 32, a lot of wallets currently treat chain ID as a number, which is inherently half of half of int 32. Basically, a lot of them just doesn't think much, use an int 32, and then use only the positive side, a part of it. So you could end up having a lot of wallets that doesn't work with your new proposed chain ID. The good side is that whoever support them early are the early movers and then should get some market reward. For the Ethereum wallets working group, I think we should discuss what's a better way to represent chain ID in the future now that we are aiming for more and more chains. I'm done talking.
Thank you, Victor. I think that's a really good point. This is definitely going to require some changes to wallets if it gets adopted. So I want to make sure that wallets are aware of it as soon as possible. Cool. So that's all I wanted to talk about this on-chain registration of chain identifiers. I'm going to turn it over to Matt Sek to talk about the wallet security ranking.
Hey, Sam. Thank you. Can you guys hear me now?
You sound great.
Okay, cool. So thank you for inviting me. So I don't know, guys, if you had like any time to read the blog post that we released a couple of days ago. Otherwise, I can just tell you in a high level what are we doing at CoinSpec, and yeah, what's about this blog post. I don't know if anyone has read it, or should I just go ahead and comment about it.
Let's start from scratch.
So, well, for those who might have been following us, we've been working on wallets as an internal research project at CoinSpect since almost 2 years ago. We reported close to 100. We've sent out like close to 100 reports to different vendors, so you might have heard from us. And well, we've been doing other efforts in the wallet spectrum, all within this CoinSpect research framework. And a few months ago, we also released a checklist, a security checklist for wallets. That's public on our GitHub. We've also received some collaboration from people from this group too. And once we released that checklist, we realized that both like end users and people from the industry, like technical people, were sort of kind of asking for an L2 bits like wallet ranking in terms of security. And we started to work on that a few months ago, around like half a year ago. And so far, we have tested close to 70 wallets for a very specific, limited set of checks that we've been developing through this time. And we are pretty close to the release of the actual ranking. But first, with this blog post, we wanted to just throw some ideas out there and comment about the process that we've been following for testing such a big amount of wallets, and also to show that we've been trying to follow an as objective as possible process, and trying to keep everything as tidy as possible by bookkeeping everything, like evidences of a pass or a fail of a given check. And we've been also developing our own tool to carry on the testing so that testers can do it as fast as possible, because it's now easy job to test like 70 wallets. And well, and that's pretty much it summarized. We soon expect to be able to publish the ranking. We are currently working on the details of the ranking, and we are polishing up some information and about the tests. We realized that some wallets allow users to, or the apps, to switch chain, to call the switch chain method without any user authorization. And the way we had these checks, it was kind of harmful for some wallets because they were losing a lot of points. So we decided a couple of days ago, to split these checks so that wallets that do it pretty well but have this problem of allowing the apps to switch the chain automatically, to not be like punished so much for this problem. And well, we've been adjusting our test data to accommodate this, and you guys should hear from us pretty soon. And well, I leave the space open for any questions that you might have.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, thanks for talking about it, and thanks for putting in the work. That's 70 wallets is a lot.
Yeah, well, those were like 17 browser extension wallets, and then it were like 26 mobile wallets, both on iOS and Android. And well, something that we decided to work on is at least for the first stage, to just focus on the wallets that were that are listed on the Ethereum wallet side.
Yeah, that makes
Because-
sense. It's a good list.
Yeah, pretty extensive, and there are some more too, but we needed to draw the line somehow.
Cool.
So
Does
I don't
anybody
know
have
if-
any questions?
No, just happy to see this. I'm curious if can you describe any kind of checks you may have around EIP 712 signatures and maybe the UIs for those? Are you looking into that at all?
Yes, we have a couple of checks around EIP 712. So we won't be publishing the list of checks as of now, but if you guys, go around all of our blog posts and the checklist that we have published on our GitHub, you will see a few checks around the EIP 712. And the thing is that we adapted most of the checks that are published for this, ranking. And also something that I didn't mention is that since we didn't have the source code for most of the wallets, it was kind of impossible for us to check some things like the crypto implementation of some of the wallets. So at least for now, we decided to focus most of the checks towards like phishing protection and user protection against mostly dApps, malicious dApps or compromised dApps. But getting back to your answer about EIP 712, if you go through our documentation, all that we have published, you'll see some information about it and checks about it.
So what do you intend to, like, what's your goal of doing this ranking? What do you want to see from wallets?
Well, first of all, it is like a public's good ranking that's meant for everybody, including technical people or end users. Our goal is to help or try to reduce the amount of like phishing going on right now. A few days ago, I heard of someone that was phished using a permit for an ERC20, and wallets can do a lot to prevent users or to help users to detect that they are trying to be phished or hacked, right? Or that they are trying to sign something malicious. So that's our goal, to put a tool out there for users to see how their favorite wallet is performing in terms of security, and also to try to encourage wallet vendors to improve their score by or to improve their overall security by improving the score at the same time.
I think that's a very admirable goal.
Yeah, and all this was born due to this internal research project that we started at CoinSpec. We didn't came up with this idea at the very beginning. We kind of started to realize throughout this entire process, because we started just by finding and reporting bugs. Then we published a checklist, like a technical checklist. Then we realized that people was actually needing something like this, not too technical, but something that could reflect like easily how a wallet does in terms of security. So if any of you guys have any other questions, I'll just feel free to contact me on Discord.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming out and talking. It's appreciated.
Or thank you, Sam. Thank you for the invitation.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to discuss? Cool. Then I guess we can wrap up this month's call early. Thank you all for coming out, and we'll see you in a month.